there! Welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha. We are your hosts, Denise
and Rexy, and we are recording with special support from Council Member Mark Collier.
And we're broadcasting from our galaxy to yours.
May the Force be with you.
Always.
Hey, Herd.
What's up, Herd? Are you ready for this? So,
I think I'm ready.
Let's just preface this as this is our Bad Batch recap.
Yes, it is.
We just watched the finale last night.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be talking about some of the character growths.
Yes. So be aware, there will be spoilers in this.
Yes.
If you have not watched the entire show, do not listen to the rest of this episode.
It's been over a week since the finale, so
now we're talking about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Betsy?
I'm probably as ready as I'm ever gonna be. We're just gonna take my guts and throw them all on the floor.
And then we're gonna dance.
And we're gonna dance on them.
That's kind of mean of me.
But it's true. It's true.
Just dance.
Man, Bad Batch very quickly became like one of my absolute top favorite Star Wars shows.
Okay.
Like Clone Wars 100% was my favorite Star Wars show. Shut up.
It's to the point now where I just do these responses to get an action.
Not you. You would never.
Response out of you.
Not Denise. But Bad Batch is right up there with it. Like I think the two of them might be tied for my favorite Star Wars show.
Okay.
I love the Bad Batch. Like, love it. There was absolutely no point in any time that I had to be coaxed into watching more episodes or drugged through it. I was in from like the very first episode. I was like, I am so here for this.
So, I kind of had an up and down roller coaster like relationship with Bad Batch. I like parts of.
I'm kind of glad about that. I'm glad that we're both not just like gonna gush about how amazing everything
I
was.
have some I like some episodes from season 1. I like some episodes from season 2, but I really loved season 3. But yeah, like season 1 and 2 was kind of emotional. Like some were really good, some just felt like a stereotypical like mission because they go on. That's their thing. They go on missions.
Yeah.
And
Bad Batch, Clone Force 99. They're a rebel batch of clones, basically, who've just gone off and decided to do their own thing.
It just felt too much like they're just doing a mission. But I know some people also like that because it wasn't this big cohesive story, which it ultimately ended up being a big cohesive story, and everything leaded
over all 3 seasons.
Did you hear me say leaded?
I did now. You called yourself out.
Leaded the finale.
Yeah. Over all 3 seasons, there was a definite story arc, but you kind of can't tell until you've watched it all that it is all coming together to this one final point.
Yeah, because there were very like subtle hints to the overall story throughout the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because I did feel like a lot of points in the 3rd season were called back to in the first and second leading up to it. But what I really liked, and I don't know if you caught on to this, you probably did. You're smart. Now I'm gonna feel
Have you
like
seen
an
my
asshole.
hair color? It's blonde under. Well, I mean, I dyed it pink. But...
Now I'm gonna feel like a jerk if you did not catch this. What I really liked about this series was each season they focused on character development of like only like 2 of the characters. So like the first season we had Wrecker and Hunter.
Yep.
Especially Hunter kind of coming into terms with being this like fatherly figure.
Yeah.
And then we had in this second season we had Echo and Tech.
Mm-hmm.
And Echo was very interesting seeing like him come around because he wasn't originally Clone Force.
Mm-mm.
And finding his way.
I'm trying to remember where they found him. Like I remember watching that scene, but I don't remember where they found him.
And so it was interesting to see him kind of really embrace the brothers and trying to find his place among the clones, being kind of like this outsider brought in. And then Tech, his growth of like connecting with people. And then in the final season, we had the growth of Crosshair and Omega.
Yes. I'm fine. It's fine.
You're not fine. I just said his name. And he like almost burst into tears.
Pretend you don't know me as well.
I'm not gonna look at you, so
that is a lie. We cannot do this entire episode without looking at each other. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna look at you and say Echo.
Echo's fine. I'm a fan of Echo, but he didn't die.
See, it's like I say the name.
You guys, he's my Elzar man. Denise has got her Elzar man, and I have my Tech, and I will never recover.
Oh, brown eyes.
Oh, brown eyes.
You can hear
I didn't mean
trembling.
Fluff. That's what I meant.
You can hear the trembling in your voice.
Who invited you?
I did.
Yeah, she's got to go to the house.
I always forget everything. Go up. I just can't register that code.
It's fine.
Anyways.
But yeah, you're right. Like every season, we weren't trying to like shove every single bit of development into every single season. And so it really let you get to know the characters.
But it also, I think, is very like similar to how life is, especially like a group of friends, or a family even. Not everybody is going to progress at the same time, and not everybody's going to grow at the same time, and everybody has different like hurdles they need to like realize and then jump over to move forward. And they did a very good job with that in Bad Batch of these individuals. They're clones,
but they are very individual.
They are individuals. They are their own people. They
have their own dreams and desires and thoughts and goals and skills. They are not identical copies of each other.
No. And so it's refreshing to see everybody kind of.
Yeah. And in that brotherhood you were just mentioning, that family kind of dynamic, it's like you're talking about, everybody doesn't always progress and grow at the same time, but in a good family circle like that, everybody is supported at all times.
Yes.
And that is very much how this went. I mean, even with Crosshair kind of going off the rails, they didn't give up on him. Like,
especially Omega.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was hands down like, nope, we're saving this guy. He's my brother. We're saving him. I'm not giving up on him.
It was very interesting to see. Because Crosshair in the very beginning wasn't like the other guys. He has always been that good soldier.
Good soldiers follow orders. Very by the book. Very strict. When have we ever followed orders?
Oh, Tech. How many times am I going to make you cry tonight?
You made me cry yesterday.
I know.
Well, I guess you didn't make me cry yesterday, but the show did definitely make me cry.
But it was very interesting with Crosshair in the very beginning. Was never really
like a team player.
He never really wanted to go against the Empire in the beginning, because Order 66 happened, and they're like, why aren't we why didn't we take down this Padawan? Why did you let him go? And which he does ultimately go back to the Empire, but then he realizes that maybe the Empire's not as great as...
And the Empire, screwed him over too. They betrayed him just as they betray everyone when they are no longer convenient, or when they're convenient for another purpose. And I think it took him seeing that, having proof that the Empire was willing to literally damage him.
Well, you can also see that so they went from the Galactic Republic, who had these clones to fight their war, and they were being treated halfway decent, and there was senators who believed in the clone rights, but once the Empire took over, the clones were more expendable.
Yeah, they were just trying to get rid of them.
they were slowly transitioning to recruitment, and because the clones have accelerated growth rate, so at this point they're older. They are definitely older, and the newer batches that are younger are more defective because of all the cloning process over and over again, like damage.
It's sort of
weakens the.
It's like when you have
the bond, the
you know,
chemical, the molecular level of everything. Yeah. There we go. I was like, I'm gonna get to that word. I'm gonna get to it.
So like, it's kind of the same as like with animals or dogs. If you have two purebred dogs, right, which is in essence what they used. They used a pure specimen to create the clones. So say you have two German Shepherds and they get together and they clone themselves. Their DNA is already going to be weaker. They're going to be more susceptible to body issues and mental health issues and other health problems. And the more they do it,
splicing those clone DNA over and over again,
they're just getting weaker and weaker. So they're like, not useful anymore. Let's get rid of them. Let's get Stormtroopers.
Which, talking about the clones and like them kind of being disposable by this point to a lot of people, I really did like that they brought up clone rights. Yeah, multiple times. It was like one of the like kind of background storylines of everything, and they brought in Senator Tucci, which we love.
Yeah, she was even right there in the very last episode. Like, we'll mention we didn't get to see her, but they did name drop her.
But like it was one of those things that the war is over now. We need to take care of these clones. We need to find something for them. Mm-hmm. And this isn't the first time we see something about the clones. We also saw it mentioned in the Kenobi show as well, when you saw the trooper sitting there.
Yeah, it was Temuera Morrison, by the way. But yeah, you see him there as like basically an old war vet, like just asking for handouts because he can't survive, which is very, very like real life, and the way like a lot of our veterans come back from war really messed up and not having anybody to take care of them. They're treated as they're dispendable. They're disposable. And it's really sad, but Star Wars often mirrors real life in situations like that.
And it's also like, and in very subtle ways, you can connect that to the real. And I like that. People like to say Star Wars is not political. Have you seen
Star Wars? Have you ever seen Star Wars?
It started off in a galactic civil war, people. It's always been political.
Yep. Who's saying Star Wars isn't political? It's insane.
All the time.
Really?
Yeah, because like, especially, sorry if I offend anybody.
No, we're not.
It's a lot of like the older generations are like, because they're like the whole thing, Star Wars is too woke.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You're just mad that there's like equal representation between men and women and whatever.
Other diverse.
I'm not gonna go down that path tonight, but they also say that Star Wars is not political. But if you look at all the undertones with the Empire,
all political,
and the rebellion, it is very political and reminiscent of events that have happened worldwide. So it is always
there's definite inspiration from real life.
Yes. Yeah. And so seeing and bringing that in and seeing Senator Tucci fight for L3.
Go L3. We love her too, but
clone rights to make sure that they are taken care of. They have some sort of like health.
Because she's like, they did this for us. We created them to do this thing. And why are we now just letting them die? Why are we killing them off? Why are we treating them like they're anything less than when we created them to do the job that they did very well?
It's because all the Galactic Republic, they're all comfy in their high-rise buildings on Coruscant, eating their good food.
They've never had to put on clone armor and go be in the front lines.
No. But talk about cloning. Good old Project Necromancer.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it's gotta be healthy. It's gotta be, right? Like,
well, what do you mean? They said it was his plan. He was working with Hemlock.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, I guess that's fair. They were talking about, and then Tarkin was showing up.
Yeah, because like But the crazy thing was,
well, maybe that's why I think it's got to be Pelvies, because it's instant, and I saw it in the show.
Palpatine in like one of the first few, like 2 episodes, shows up. Like,
Do you know how long it's been since I see it? I know.
and they went into this room and were like, what are they looking at in here? And that's when all this speculation was it Jedi? Was it Ventress? Like, what is all this stuff? And they never showed it, which ended up being the troopers. The room, I think, was the troopers.
Yeah, I think so. The 4 operatives that came out.
Yeah.
You guys. That operative situation messed me up. And I know that I'm not the only one, because we were talking about it a little bit at the watch party.
Yeah.
Other people saw it too. I don't know if it was, but if you look at one of the last operatives that got blown up, his helmet is goggles. Like, inside his helmet, you can very clearly see goggles. And they kept showing it and kept showing it very closely. So
I have a theory.
So I was thinking, I was just like, that's tech. That's got to be tech. Like, and I kept thinking that when he fell, when he cut the line and he fell, that maybe he was retrieved and then experimented on, because that's what they did with Crosshair. They took him, tried to make him undergo this like brainwashing training type of thing. And I really thought that it was tech. And there were a couple other people at the watch party last night who were like, yeah, we saw that. And maybe, but then also it could just to get us talking about it. Like,
Denise has a theory.
All right.
I love when I have these epiphanies. Okay, so in Clone Wars, we had the very now famous line, defective and effective.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought this up before, and so Clone Force 99 were defective clones, which kind of, I don't really think they're truly defective clones. I think because they all have their heightened senses, right?
Yeah. So I think their defectiveness is just that chip isn't 100% loyal.
And so what if the science that was used on Clone Force 99, like Hunter's ability to focus in on the hunting, Crosshair, like
his sharpshooting
records, what if all these what are they calling these clones from Bad Batch, the dark ones? Like, one that you thought was tech.
They're just calling them operatives.
Yeah, the operatives.
Yeah.
What if these operatives were repurposed clones that they used the same science as Clone Force 99, and those helmets are kind of like representative of the different special abilities that they have?
That definitely could be, because didn't we see one with the thing kind of over his eye that was very much looked like Crosshairs?
So what if it's just
maybe they were meant or made to match?
Repurposing was reprogramming him to be like Clone Force 99.
To be definitely able to take them out, which is like, that was his goal. Take them out. Use these operatives.
What if?
Maybe.
What if?
Maybe. And that would explain why they were so easily able to take out our boys.
I was a wreck in that last episode. I thought my homeboy Wrecker died, and I was like, no, I cannot have this.
Girl.
I honestly, going into the finale, I honestly thought nobody was coming out alive.
I didn't think everybody would die, but I definitely thought we would lose some more of the clones. Oh,
that one.
She was heartbreaking.
I did not expect that one to make me as sad as it did. But she also had character growth over this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she wasn't just this cloning scientist from Kamino. Wow, I butchered that one. Kamino.
It's like our theme tonight.
But she cared. She genuinely cared for Omega.
Yeah. And
wanted her safety and was willing to do everything. And she also saw where this Project Necromancer was going with the testing on the kidnapping Force-sensitive children, testing on them. Like, she did not want her name on it.
She kept trying to get rid of proof and evidence and tests to try to keep her safe. And then she helped Omega escape, and
Got put in.
they were like, "Oh, well, gotta
Lockdown.
lock you up in jail." And
But then that led to Emery then seeing everything, and then Emery realizing she's also a clone. She needs to. We don't leave brothers behind.
Right.
We don't leave sisters behind. We don't
Mhm.
leave our family. Like the
and
clones
these
that-
are our brothers and sisters.
Yep.
And that started with Omega. And you see it, the very first time you see it is when she gives her doll back.
When Omega's too trusting.
Oh yeah, she's very much too twisted.
But
She's very good at getting herself out of scrapes.
So I will say that's one thing. Don't come at me she was so naive, and I get she was a young child, but I was kind of hoping that through all of this, maybe she would have toughened up a little bit, but maybe it's also good that she didn't get jaded by all of this and still trusting. But you can't be that trusting in this world.
Yeah. I think exactly the thing that you kind of don't like, I kind of love about her though. Like she's this little badass soldier now. She's been trained by her brothers. She's gotten into so many situations, and she's still so hopeful.
I don't know.
Naive, yes, but hopeful. And I kind of hope she doesn't lose that.
I wish she would have just got a little bit smarter in that area.
Yeah.
Grown up a little bit, because time obviously does pass between
the
time
she
leaves Kamino to this time. Like I don't.
Yeah, there's several years that passed.
And some people are gonna say she did grow. Yes, she did grow. She became smarter in how to do the missions. She became smarter.
She became a good leader.
And
she figured that out.
Great leader, especially with those Kid Jedi. But I guess, this is Star Wars. Everything's about hope.
Yeah, it is.
That sounds so depressing. It's like
Everything's about hope.
Darn you, Star Wars, and your
We are very immersed in our dark side tonight, though. That's okay.
Like screw the world. Up with the darkness.
We've been talking dark side almost all night. So it makes sense. But I kind of like that about her. The clones themselves, like her brothers themselves, are so jaded and so distrusting.
Yeah, and see, that's where the thing is, by the end of the series, they became more hopeful and they became more trusting in people. Like,
and she didn't become less, she didn't become more wary, I guess.
Yeah.
She was still ready to be like, yeah, you say that you're here, cool. You're a good guy.
Okay, let's go. Like, that's... Come on, girl. You gotta think a little bit more.
That's a lesson I'm still trying to learn.
Come on. Have your God. Ventress. We need to talk about Ventress.
Oh, okay. What do you want to talk about? She's broken up.
She flippin' died in Dark Disciple and came back with no answers.
And we have no idea how she came back, but we do have theories.
We do have
theories, and I think that we talked about them at some point. I don't remember if we talked about them online, but I really wonder if it had something to do with the water.
So yeah, we talked about did the water have anything to do with it?
Because when she died, Voss took her body back.
But somebody has to perform the magic.
And my theory there is that it's the spirits of the Night Sisters.
I don't think it's the spirit of the Night Sisters. So this episode is obviously going to come out after Tales of the Empire. So if our theories are wrong, so be it.
Yeah.
My theory is we're getting Morgan Elsbeth, right?
Yeah.
In Tales of the Empire.
Oh.
She is Night Sister.
She is.
She has also been seen on Dathomir. Is she the one that brings back Ventress? Yeah, I broke Rex. Yep.
I think that is a more plausible theory than my Night Sister ghost magic.
Because they brought her back. They said they're going to do stuff cool stuff with her.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we didn't hear anything because now Bad Batch is over.
It's coming.
Tales of the Empire is coming out.
And we know we're getting more of Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
We know we are. And that would make sense because, Morgan Elsbeth she would absolutely bring her back to use her as a tool. 100% she would.
Oh, Denise.
Seriously. Man, you just like single-handedly switched me. Like I was like for months positive like she came back through Night Sister magic and it's the ghosts that did it.
It's still Night Sister magic, but just
Like,
Morgan.
holy wow. I never considered Morgan in that equation, but that makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. That is my theory.
You think we'll find out in Tales?
That's my theory. I think we are.
I hope we do.
I'll be watching it Saturday morning.
Oh man, I can't wait.
But
Saturday morning, I'll be doing an event.
I'll be getting my pre-resting game on before I go to the concert. So
Yeah.
Theories. Should we talk more theories?
Yeah.
So
What you got up your sleeve?
I had. Ooh, okay. This scene, the very, very end scene with Omega and Hunter. Okay, so how did it hit you? Why did it like?
Why did it make me cry?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So a couple of things all at once. We see her sneak out. We see her run into Hunter. We don't see her run into anybody else. So immediately, I thought everybody else was dead. And I was like, well, Heck already died. Wrecker's my second favorite. What do I do now? Everybody's dead. So I kind of got very fragile at that. And then, like, that conversation that she had with Hunter was very, like, she's growing. She's growing and she's spreading her wings. And she's going out to do more things now that she is well trained for them and prepared. And it broke my heart a little bit watching Hunter watch her go. Because he's like, we're trying to keep you safe. We've been trying to keep you safe. And if you go out there, we can't keep you safe. And then she stands up and she's like, no, this is my fight now. You guys fought your fight. You kept me safe. You won your battles. This is I'm getting chills. This is my fight and it's my time to stand up and join the rebellion. Well, was it the rebellion at that point?
Yeah.
Join the rebellion.
They name dropped the rebellion.
Yeah. And it's my turn to go do something. Oh. And that was just... We watched Omega go from, like, this just little girl to, like, a woman now who has been through hell and back and is going out to take the world on her own. And it hit me. Part of the leaving, part of the... Not, like, sadness of her growing, but, like, it's that kind of positive tears. You know, she did grow. She learned so much through it that she is capable of keeping herself safe. And also I cried when she said goodbye to Badger.
So I'm going to elaborate a little bit on that more. So like talking about, it hit me, I think, a little bit more emotionally as a parent. Because I know I'm going to have to come to this point at some point in my life. Seeing essentially the child that I brought up, like, spread their wings and fly. Take that next step. Like, this is what we're preparing our children for. It's gonna suck when it happens, and hopefully they don't just fucking be like, deuces. I don't think it will.
I don't think so. You're raising such a good human.
But, like, so that hit me right there, because you could see, like, the sense of pride that he had in Omega, and she was just like, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay.
And he's like, I know you are.
And the fact that she has taken on, like, all those personalities from her clone daddies.
Because they were her brothers, but they also raised her. So they were all father figures to her.
And was like, I'm going to continue doing what I was taught to do. And I was taught to fight for others and to stand up for others and to be like that protector. You protected me, now I'm going to protect them.
Yeah.
And we saw her do that also while they were on the planet with the other Jedi kids. Like, she was their protector. She
stepped in that role so well.
She was what Hunter was to her. She was to the children. And which leads me to my next theory. So she purposely name drops. She's joining the rebellion.
I like this theory.
I do not think that they created this character with so much story and so much development and so much growth, and this whole Project Necromancer around, like, formed around this whole cloning process, this whole big story with the bad guys, to just leave it at that.
Yeah, it's too much.
There's no possible way, with how much people love Omega, she is going to be back. And I think we might see her in Andor, because it makes sense, because Andor is the start of the rebellion. They're recruiting people, especially as we go into the second season, which is 4 years leading up to A New Hope.
So the timeline is perfect for her to. Ooh, and that means we could have Omega encountering Hera.
I want to say, and Hera also be in Andor, because Hera is one of the lead people with.
She's one of the best pilots they have. Like,
and she name dropped. She's going as a pilot.
Yeah,
she is going to go fly.
Denise dropped this one on me yesterday, and I was like, "Oh my god! If she doesn't show up, I might set something on fire." Like, I need this theory to be real.
They can't create this. Filoni does not do that. Filoni does not just create characters to just leave it at that. There is always something else. There's always more to their story, unless they have some sort of book planned or another,
which could be, we could get it in a book. But man, I hope we get it live action.
But people don't read books like they watch shows and they watch movies. So it only makes sense to have her in another form of media. And they have to somehow plan it and figure out, this is why she wasn't in A New Hope or Empire. And, the original trilogy is kind of like how they explained it with Ahsoka and all this stuff.
But that's not hard to just write her off into a different mission, somewhere farther away.
And that's what I'm saying. They've done it before, especially with the Rebel characters, and explaining why they weren't in the original trilogy, and then bringing them back to storylines after the original trilogy. I think they'll be easily able to do that with Omega. And you guys, the Rebellion is not just 3 characters,
right?
It's huge. Not just Leia and Luke.
It's a galaxy-wide initiative.
I'm saying this is across hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of planets, and trillions and trillions of people. It would make sense to have people off in different sectors fighting these fights, and so you could easily bring Omega in
and just be she was off training with so and so, off learning a position or something, because it would not make any sense if we somehow heard every single thing about every single character in the story. It's just not possible. So think about all of the other people in the rebellion that we're just now learning about, who were fighting at the same time. But
they could have been on.
You literally can't tell everybody's story at the same time.
And so I really think we are going to get more Omega.
100%. I am on that. I really hope it's an Andor.
Okay if we don't get more of Clone Force 99. I think they had a very solid closing out of their story. They left it open though for Omega, because at this time
I like that. The clones are old. You can see Gray and Hunter.
Because he was looking rough.
Yeah.
He was looking rough.
I won't be mad. Yeah, I won't be mad if we don't see any more of 99, of Clone Force 99. 99 is 66.
Maybe it is.
And 99 were the only ones to not follow the orders of 66.
There's a few other, but they took out their chip inhibitors.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But they took those out.
I never. Yeah, that's cool. That was a neat little epiphany.
I never thought about that either. Usually the one that comes
I know. You're usually blowing my mind.
99.
66? Yeah, they wrapped their story up so well. I am forever going to be heartbroken over Tech. I was just so sure that we were going to see him again in season 3. I hate to say it, but I am too, because it made his sacrifice mean so much more.
I hate when people, when characters, sacrifice themselves to save other people, and then they're just brought back just as a fan service. And I feel like if they would have brought Tech back, it would have literally just been a fan service.
Yeah, and it would have done a big disservice to his character.
because that is also what motivated these people to
Mhm.
move forward in their mission and try to get all this stuff.
Yep. And then so many times they were like, we cannot let his sacrifice be for nothing. We can't let him have died for nothing.
Stop being Clone Force 99 with
that scene hurt so bad. And it was Crosshair. Because they were,
Crosshair's always blunt, though. He's always
he was just
like,
we're not that squad anymore. Clone
Get-
Force 99 died
get it
with Tech.
together. We are being hunted. We were not those. We need to do what we need to do to survive. Omega needs you.
Yeah.
But, so, I wanted to...
I thought we'd get more Fee, too. I thought that we might get a little bit more of her. I'm trying to remember. We never really got much about her finding out about Tech. And I just feel like that would have been an interesting part of the story because they had a connection that he really didn't have with anybody else.
Yeah. So, I do want to touch base back on Project Necromancer. So, as we're going into this finale of Bad Batch, I'm all over the place with words. Project Necromancer had been like one of the motivating like bad guy things, right?
Yeah.
I was sitting there, I'm like, how is this working? Because I'm one of those, I like to connect everything. Like, how do we have Project Necromancer, but we never, ever, ever see any kind of...
Now you're hitting my mic.
any kind of mention about this project or success, like them being successful at cloning these Force-sensitive people ever.
Mm-hmm.
And we see it then in The Mandalorian, Gideon struggling with this cloning. Like, they're struggling. They're not able to replicate it. They're having to, like, start this finding the child. That's what the whole thing was. We go to find this child because they're the Force. But I was like, how are they going to explain this, like, 20 some odd year gap? Like, and then Hemlock screwed it all up and everything got blown up. And then they're like, well, shut it down.
Oh, give more money.
Shut it. I was like, okay, this is a nice way to close that up and explain why I hadn't, because if they continue to do this Project Necromancer, and with especially with Vader and the Inquisitors hunting down the Jedi, they should have had all the materials to work on this cloning to perfect it.
And we would have seen so much, but Hemlock messed up.
And it got shut down, like 100% shut down.
Like, Tarkin is just like, it was Tarkin, right? That came up and was just like, shut it down, funnel all the money to Project Stardust.
Because you would have thought that, like, the Inquisitor, like, eventually, if they kept going, had Hemlock not screwed it up, like, ooh, a what if episode.
Ooh,
like,
yeah, that could be fun.
What if Hemlock did not screw it up? What if Hemlock had the control and they kept doing this testing? They have Omega and they realized, okay, we're going to test these Jedi. We have over here on this side Vader and his Inquisitors hunting down Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
They could have then teamed up and sent this Jedi over to Hemlock to work on this cloning process, and it could have, like, expedited all of this.
Yeah.
But then it got shut down, and then Gideon had his issues, which I think he might have succeeded. We'll find out in the movie next year.
I also kind of feel like that, and I know a lot of us were kind of like, but I think that was a clone. I think that,
But I love that they tied Bad Batch in with the Mando stuff, which then ties into the sequels.
Yeah.
And all you haters out there, they're not canceling out these sequels. They're
Sorry.
connecting them even more. And so it's interesting to see all that, like...
Yeah. Weaving together, just weaving the whole story together. It's not just like this random separate story that we're happening to hear about. Like, it has big effects in the galaxy.
Was it Palpatine's kid who then ended up having Rey, like, a failed cloning process? I don't know. Now I'm gonna need to look that up.
When you find out, let me know. And so, if it was, because
I know there's theories
then that means
around.
they're still not able to perfect that.
I know there was theories going around there for a while that Emery might be, like, related, not Emery, or Omega might be related to Rey.
Oh, I hadn't heard that, but
I've heard that. I don't think Emery
makes
ever.
sense to me.
I don't think Omega ever had Force abilities. I just think she had the blood and the genetics to be able to modify that in a clone.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like that one step that needed to work with the Force too.
Because we never saw her use any kind of Force abilities.
Even when like Ventress was there, I think she was giving her some dumb tests to do because she knew right off the bat that she was not.
Yeah, she's not a Force user.
Because
but she is very well trained, and her M count is through the roof.
No, it's not even. I don't even think.
I thought that she had the highest, and that's why.
No, I think it was. I think they were modified, and they just showed that. I think it was just she had the capability to transfer M count.
Oh,
the M count.
I see. Okay, no, that her specific count was crazy high.
M count, the high M count, is tied to the Force.
Right, and if she had a crazy IM count, she would have been a Force user.
So it was the ability to transfer the M count to.
Because she was like, because she was one of the perfect clones. She was the one of the direct from Boba clones.
Oh, which makes me wonder if Boba Fett would be the same as well. Yeah.
Defective, but effective.
Well, Boba Fett is not defective. Boba Fett is Boba Fett.
Boba Fett got himself locked in a trunk by Ventress, and I'm gonna laugh about it forever.
I thought that was really cool that they brought back Daniel Logan to voice some of the cadets. I like that little.
I wonder how much he's gonna have. Maybe still some involvement.
I don't know. I think he's one of those that is always willing to come back.
Yeah.
And do anything Star Wars. He's a big Star Wars fan himself.
I love it when the fans are the actors as well. Like, it just makes everything so much better. I know we've talked about that before, but you can see their passion for it. You can see their fun and their joy and their commitment to the fandom. It comes through. 100%.
But it has been rambling now for a while, so I'm gonna go home and eat some ice cream as I cry at our clones. And
I'm not gonna cry.
No, I'm gonna go home and see if Palpatine's son was the defective clone.
Yes, I need you to let me know as soon as you find out. Because I may have lied, and all of this brought up a lot of sad things. I might go cry about that. You guys, I literally sobbed over that character death. Like, I don't know if I've been that affected by a character death in a very long time, or in all of Star Wars. And there's been some impactful deaths in Star Wars. But I think Tech's death absolutely hit me the hardest. And part of that is, like, it leans into, this is one of the reasons I love this character so much. He's literally willing to sacrifice his life to protect the people he loves.
And they all were like that. Yeah. The whole brother mentality.
I love it.
Leave no one behind. And
they even, God, they weren't able to recover him, and they weren't able to keep him with them, but they kept his memory alive. Omega had his goggles. She kept him safe. It's one of the last things we see in the show is her, like, straightening the goggles up on the dashboard. I said I wasn't gonna cry, but maybe I will.
I knew.
But I really love that there were pretty consistent callbacks to his character. Yeah. You know, it was like he was still kind of a constant presence with them, even though he wasn't there. They talked about him, they learned from him. Omega learned so much.
Honored his memory, and they honored what he did for them to make sure that his death was not in vain, and that they used that to keep moving forward and as a driving force to complete the mission to make sure everybody was safe and everybody got free and everybody was taken care of.
Yep. And which is part of the reason I love that character so much. And part of the reason that I am crying about it right now. So I want to know your thoughts. I know that I am not the only one who is absolutely heartbroken by Tech. So,
That was so second season.
Oh, Penny.
Such a bit sometimes.
We really are a pretty good balance. But it worked. You made fun of me and I stopped crying. So, good job.
That's what I can do. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. We have some very fun episodes coming up all about A New Hope. We're working on those, and yeah, so keep an eye out for that.
Yep. Make sure you join our Discord if you're not in there. Make sure if you're not one of our Patreons and you would like to be, you can join that for $3 a month. Yep, there's still tears.
Stop being such a baby.
I'm Denise. I'll do what I want.
Sorry.
You are not.
I am. I really am sorry.
I don't believe you.
Well, whatever. I am sorry. And I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go too. I think I deserve ice cream after this episode.
So, from our galaxy to yours,
May the force be with you.
always. Thank you for listening to Sisterhood of the Traveling Bantha, written and produced by Denise McKay.
Edited and produced by Rexy Jupiter. Original logo designed by Tyler Rigney.
Intro and outro music is provided by the Galactic Empire.
You can find us on all streaming platforms at Travel and Bantha.
And join our Discord for fun-filled galaxy chats.
You can also sign up for our Patreon starting at just $3. You get exclusive episodes, merch, behind the scenes, and more.
And a special thanks to all our Jedi Knight members and higher. We have Rooney, Michael Beavers, Mark Collier, and James Peak. From our galaxy to yours,
May the force be with you.
always.